We're going to turn our focus back to real estate for a few minutes and talk about the real estate statistics. So the statistics through November came out this week, and I wanted to kind of go over them a little bit and give everybody an update about what we're seeing happening in the market. One of the neatest things that I saw was November has the highest average sale price in Tampa that we have seen in nearly a decade. So the average sale price was $252,869. We saw that back in the boom, but we haven't seen something that high in a long time. The highest we'd seen earlier this year was in June, so it's kind of interesting to see November's average sale price beat that of June, which is completely unheard of. If you look at every year for the past decade, the average sale price in November does not beat June. June is like peak, So November you usually start to see a slowdown, and we did see a slowdown in the number of homes sold, but certainly not in the average sale price. And when I mean a slowdown, I mean a slowdown
month over month,
correct, but not year over year. So year over year. So this year we had 2,714 sales in November. Last November we had 2,161. That's like a 30%.
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about how November and January are the slowest historically months, and this year, I mean, they're basically normal, very, very healthy months.
Yeah, they were not. And then November 14, 2195, November 13, 1919. Mm-hmm. So literally a 30% higher November in terms of the number of sales than any other November in recent memory. So that is definitely a good sign. Inventory still hovering below 3 months, 2.9 months of inventory. We've been hovering below that 3 number for most of the year. Last year we were anywhere from 3 to 4. This year we have not had a month above 3.2 months of inventory. So continue to see really light inventory. At list to sell price ratio is now within a couple percentage points, which is the highest it's been in a long time. Homes are selling fast. You get anything in that mid-level price range and it's flying off the shelf. We're seeing bidding wars. I mean, we're getting complaints from buyers on our listings that didn't get them. They're going online and complaining about us because, a bidding war happened. It's like, yes, we do a great job, and yes, some of that's our marketing, but it's also the market. It's not our fault you didn't, there's only one buyer for a house. If we have 12 offers
inventory is still the biggest hindrance to, I mean, they say the down payment, but we know in our market that
it's
the
inventory.
biggest hindrance is inventory.
And so, the 2,714 sales, I mean, that's comparable to, for example, if you look at last year, that's comparable to last year's, March and April. In 2014, the 2,700 sales we had was better than any single month of the year, including June, July, August. So a lot of sales, and I'm sure the rise in interest rates, the election now kind of, being out of the way, a lot of those things are going to continue to spur the market. What we're seeing right now, and I talk about this, when we talk about the average sale price and a lot of these numbers, a lot of that, really relates to the average. It relates to that mid-level price range. But if you go across Tampa Bay, because we are a big market, you still do see it more saturated and harder to sell in the higher price ranges. And so if I'm talking about homes flying off the shelf, that doesn't mean your $1.5 million house is going to fly off the shelf and go above asking.
Different market.
It generally, there's still a challenge in that market. And so when you look at inventory, for example, you've got a year or more of inventory for anything above, $800,000, for the year. And so, again, those homes, and same thing, they sell for less than asking. By a greater percentage, and more of those homes don't sell.
Well, here's the thing. That's the next pillar to basically fall. The luxury home market will now start to recover a little bit more quickly, and you'll start to see those homes now that everything else has been selling a lot more quickly. That and basically condos, which are probably the
and that's going to start to trend better too because of financing, which is getting better. We talked about that. I still think condos are one of the most undervalued opportunities in Tampa. But the other thing about the luxury market that's interesting is you look at the time the time on market and all the different variables. What the statistics a lot of times don't bring in are homes that don't sell. and then it'll say, oh, this home sold in 100 days, but they won't say that it was on the market for 2 years with 2 different agents.
Right.
So if you look in the luxury market, that's really, really common. You'll see a home that's been on the market for really 1,000 days finally sell. When in reality, it'll say, oh, sold in 98 days. Yeah, it sold in 98 days, plus the 2 years it was on the market with 2 different agents. So that's the challenge you see in the luxury market. We're going to continue this conversation. You can check out the real estate statistics on our social pages. You can see the video on YouTube, youtube.com/The Duncan Duo, and Twitter, Instagram, we're at The Duncan Duo, and Facebook.com/The Duncan Duo Show.